States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Moines County Supervisors meeting, May 20, 2025. Is there any changes to the agenda?
I have none.
I have none. Okay. Moving on. Meet with department heads and elected officials. Sarah Doty, County Auditor.
Good morning. Nothing really new going on in the auditor's office, just keeping busy as usual.
Thank you. Tom Burke.
Nothing new to report, just keep busy, that's about it.
Sheriff Glenn.
Good morning. Plenty going on for us as well. I'm going to scoot out of here just a little bit early for a tour with the West Burlington High School class, a tour and a presentation. We've got the work session tonight, I think, up in the third floor courtroom. And then I want to bring your attention to a section that got passed in the appropriations bill in the legislature in the final day. It adds a section that allows for the state 911 system to bill local joint 911 boards, but doesn't give an amount restriction. It basically says for services associated. The concern with that is we get 60 cents of every $1 back here. Locally, they retain 40 cents of every $1, and that's the 911 surcharge that we all see on our cell phones and landlines. We use that money for equipment in DESCOM, for tower maintenance, for the radio project that we just have completed now. That's where that money comes from, as opposed to using local tax dollars for that. Those surcharge dollars go towards that. Having that bill and not really knowing what those bills could be, and then having 30 days to pay it is quite concerning. We have plans for that money. It's one of the few funds that we're allowed to roll over to plan for the future projects. And we have to file an annual audit with our intentions of what to do with those funds. So we're working, and there's been a little bit of media attention on getting the governor to line item veto that area, which we don't have an answer on yet, but we're hopeful for that. There was a bill for that to move forward, or for a similar bill where they were going to reduce the amount we got down to 50 cents for the next 3 years, and then permanently to 55 cents, basically because the state's saying that they need additional funds, and there was an unwillingness to raise the $1 surcharge up to $1.25, which was recommended, which I can understand, but now they've just dipped into local funds that we rely on. So just wanted you to be aware that that's concerning to us. We already have to turn to the EMA budget and the general supplemental budget to do things in DESCOM. We're able to do the radio projects without that, but just want the board to be aware that we're watching that, and we'll see where it goes.
Could you email the bill number or whatever to the board?
Is that what? It's the appropriations bill. It's about 19 pages, I think it was, and at the very final section.
Final section of the appropriation.
Final paragraph. Yeah.
They added it in like the 11th hour
Yeah. I mean
They're trying to sneak
at
it
night.
in.
All good things are done that way.
literally, it was up for subcommittee and didn't make it out. The bill had no movement, no support. We spoke on it in subcommittee. It failed, and then overnight it got added to that appropriations bill.
I believe it's Senate File 659.
Yes.
Sounds right.
Thank you.
Other than that, the jail was at 89 this morning. We had 13 out of county.
How many you got?
13 out of county.
13, how many you got ready to go?
There's 2 on the prison list, and then 2 waiting on the residential facility. 1 waiting on a competency eval. Just a couple on our list of needing places to go for them.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Rodney Blazer, maintenance.
Good morning. As we reported last week, we have some bikes that are on gov deals.
.com. Those 9 lots will be ending tonight, starting around 5:30, so you still got time to bid on those. You can go to the county website. It's right on the front page there. It'll take you right to Gut Deals and check those lots out if you're interested in that. Otherwise, we've got business as usual. We've got that work session tonight. I want to thank Colin and Brandon with IT, Sarah for trying to help kind of figure out how we're going to do that. Also, the 8th Judicial Clerk, Sarah, allowing us to use the room. And Julio, the state IT guy, met with us last week to work on the audio and get some of that stuff set up there. So really appreciate the collaborative effort between the state workers and our crew to make that happen up there. So I want to thank all them guys. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Rod. Jared Last at Regional Planning.
Morning. Land use has been pretty busy as usual this past week. We had 2 different minor subdivisions we got recorded last week, so that was good to get those finalized. And but the process keeps moving. We have a number of other subdivisions we expect to see fairly soon here, including one we just received yesterday. Let's give you the packet for that one. But apart from that, I don't have anything to report.
Okay, thank you. Chris Lee, Conservation.
Good morning. We are getting ready for what we consider our Super Bowl weekend. Memorial Day weekend is always our biggest weekend of the year. So guys are out getting all the parks in shape. This rain here first of the week was, we definitely needed it, so I'll take it, but it kind of got in the way of getting some work done. But we're scrambling, trying to get all the parks ready. We're going to try to get the last 2 docks out on the river. So we're trying to be in a lot of places at the same time. We still don't have water at the Nature Center. We've got a contractor, another one, I think this will be number 4, coming in today with a more sophisticated locating device to try to figure out where our lines go. We dug it up at the meter there on Irish Ridge Road, and the lines don't do what the drawings in our files said that they're supposed to do. The city's line comes in across Irish Ridge Road, comes to the meter, and then it comes out of the meter and turns around and goes right back underneath the road. Our drawings say it comes out of the meter and follows Stars Cave Road down into the park. Our contractor traced it something like 100 foot, and it was still kind of just following the road northeast. So what we're trying to do today is see if we can trace it to where it comes back out from the road, gets over onto the Stars Cave side, and because it's leaking under the road. And we can just eliminate that section and try to get a new line to an existing line that we can find, connect those together, and maybe eliminate the leak. I don't know. So we're not sure that this locating device will be able to find the lines either. But anyway, so if there's a big hole in the side of the road and we're doing everything we can to, well, we have no intention of doing the road. We'll just run the new service in from Radford if we have to. So anyway, that's going on. Otherwise, yeah, just we had half marathon over the weekend. That was cool. It was our first time doing a run of that length. We're talking about maybe trying to do another one in July. We're not sure on that just yet. Summer camps will be starting up here 1st of June. So not sure what we're gonna do with the water situation for that. We might just fill toilets with buckets. I don't know. So yeah, we're just gonna keep on cranking on and doing great things. There's gonna be a lot of people out over the weekend and here in the coming weeks. School's letting out very soon, so the parks are gonna be crazy busy, and we're gonna try to offer the greatest opportunities we can for people to get outside.
Okay. Sounds great. Thanks, Fred. Do you have anything to add to the Budget Director, Cheryl McVeigh?
Nope, I have an agenda item.
Okay. Thank you. Lisa, the County Attorney?
Good morning. Just a couple of things. To my right is Matt Erickson. He is our new legal intern for the summer. He is going into his 3rd year at the University of Iowa College of Law, so we'll have him for the next 10 weeks. For those of you who don't know, the Iowa Code provides a special certification for law students to have a limited practice of law, so he will be handling, hopefully here in the next few weeks, our simple misdemeanor docket, and then we hope to get him into a couple of indictable jury trials. It's a great program to get people interested in prosecution or litigation into a courtroom that only you can do through this program. So we're glad to have him. We also have hired Lisa Harris's replacement finally. She will be starting on June 2nd. Otherwise, we're just keeping busy. We're actually going into one of our slower months because June is when everyone has their annual conferences. The prosecutors do, the defense attorneys do, the judges do, so it makes for June to be a little less busy on the court side, but we will, I'm sure, more than make up for it in July.
Okay, thank you. Natalie, the recorder's office?
Good morning. Everything's good in the recorder's office. Just a reminder that votes did expire April 30th. There's no penalty until July 1st. But with Memorial Weekend coming up and everybody wanting to be out there voting, they'll want to make sure that they do have the current decal on there, or probably get a ticket. But everything is going well otherwise.
Okay, thank you. Krista, public health.
Good morning. We're keeping busy. I want to thank Rodney for his help over the weekend. We did the Zion Church event. We had some good traffic come through there, gave some flu vaccines. Our clinic is closed this week as we're doing some rework on the flooring in those, but they'll be back to normal schedule starting next week. That's all I have.
Thank you. Angie, Safety Department.
Good morning. Not really anything new, keeping busy. Sadly, things are kind of ramping up, so just a reminder that we're coming out of winter and going into spring and everyone's getting more active. A lot more things going on, a lot more potential for getting injured, so we need to stay focused and pay attention to what we're doing.
Okay, thank you. Janelle, Treasurer's Office.
Good morning. I attended our annual May Treasurers Conference in Ames last week, which was informative. The Iowa DOT is looking for, I think they found a new software vendor for our titling and registration system. The current one was implemented in 2005, and so we've outgrown that apparently. It's a very good system though, compared to what we had prior to that. No new major legislative changes for us like there was last year, but we've got some that we're still gonna pursue next year. In the office, we're keeping busy with the publication list for the tax sale, so.
Okay, thank you. Shannon, Emergency Management.
Good morning. I wanted to touch on kind of what Kevin said as well, to reiterate the language of the reasonable costs. That is going to be an issue, as it kind of leaves it open-ended. So there was a press conference yesterday with many of the entities in the responder community. It is on Facebook. It's also, I believe, on YouTube through the APCO and NINA Facebook page. I also wanted to thank Brian for letting me borrow some of the materials for my CERT exercise this weekend. It went really well. And then I also wanted to just touch on, we may see some weather this afternoon. It seems like it may go a bit more north than us, but we may see at least some rain, which, as Chris said, it's much needed, so, but that's it, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Brian Carter, Secretary of Road.
Good morning. Plenty of stuff going on, couple quick updates. The asphalt on 34 is completed. Traffic control is still up. They still are wrapping up some work. The rain kind of slowed them down yesterday, so they're still wrapping up shouldering and such, and still gotta do pavement markings and some stuff like that. But in general, I think it looks really good. Ride's pretty good. Can't complain too much. It's kind of it's not a brand new project, so some people have called and asked why this, why that. You know, we did what we could with the finances we had. In fact, we stretched our finances further than we were planning, actually. So, but it is on average a good project, so can't complain about that. They will be moving to 99, and that's probably the biggest thing I want to let people know, is that it's coming. We've been talking about 99 for a while. Last we were told, which is subject to change the way this has gone, they're talking about starting milling on Thursday of this week on Highway 99. So, and they were talking about starting on the north end, which is towards the Meeker's Landing intersection. So, just wanted to pass that on, let the media put it in for anybody that is paying attention. And anybody has questions, they're welcome to call our office. There'll be a lot of one-lane closure is what it'll be, so there'll be no full closure, other than eventually there'll be some intersections that are full closure because we're doing some paved approaches, actual roads along the way. Those will be short-term, but they will happen. So they'll come in and do the milling, and then they'll come and do the asphalt. Somewhere in there, they'll also be working on Tama Road. We have a project down there on a piece of road that kind of fell apart during the detour a couple of years ago. And they'll also be doing Seven Ponds Road, somewhere in that timeframe also, and I don't have exact times on those, but a lot of stuff will be coming up, and they'll be on 99 for a while. It's 11 miles, and it takes some time to cover that kind of ground. So be patient. It'll be a couple miles of one lane. You have to wait for the pilot car, whether you're at the end or whether you're at the intersection. I know it's frustrating, but it is what it is. It's the life of construction. And, but like I said, anybody has any concerns or questions, they're welcome to call our office, and we'll talk to them. So, and the bridges are coming good. Danville Road is a little bit ahead of gear, but they're both making good headway. Yeah, there's a ton of other stuff going on, but that's what's going on.
Thank you, Brian. Did I miss anybody? I didn't miss anybody, but should move on. Correspondence, I have none here. I have none. Okay. Discussion and vote. We have a public hearing for the fiscal year 25 budget appropriation. I can get this.
Motion to open a public hearing.
I'll second it then. I think Shane is on.
Second.
Sarah?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Okay, Cheryl, this should be you.
So, give you these. You're welcome. So we are requesting $1,005,661 for spending authority for the ARPA grant. That money is already sitting in the general fund. We just are spending more of it this fiscal year than we thought. So that's what that's all about. The sheriff is requesting $72,000. That's for the jail, for housing of inmates and medical treatment and prescription drug costs. Conservation is requesting $44,796. That's for the nature center improvements and repairs and for miscellaneous expenses. Treasurer's office request is $13,467. That's due to an employee who retired. So that's the payout of vacation and sick time. The auditor's requesting $5,000 for roll-off expenses for solid waste budget. And the recorder is requesting $1,431 for rebinding of books. So that is a grand total of $1,142,345.
Okay. We will give the public 2 minutes to call in. Call at 319-753-8203 extension 4 or email board@dmcounty.com. And meanwhile, anybody in the audience have anything to say about the budget?
I'll jump in on our items. For the medical care, we're responsible for medical care for any inmates that are in our custody. Many times they come in with Medicaid. As we file, by code, we're required to file our inmate list with the state, and if they're on that list, then they lose their Medicaid. So at that time, every 30 days, so that could be after 2 days, or it could be after 30 days, that they'll lose their Medicaid, and then at that point, we're responsible for their care. we've seen a drastic increase in medication costs, prescription costs, and that's what a big part of that budget amendment's for. Specifically on mental health drugs, the $500, $600, $700 per treatment, that's been very costly for us. We met with the HHS and the plan moving forward after July 1. There's other regions that were covering those prescription drug costs for those regions, and our region was not one of them covering the mental health costs. Their intent is to cover that statewide, but their answer was, give us 3 months after July 1, and we should have that in place to be able to start covering those prescription costs. So we're hopeful on that we won't see the same issue next year, but there also has to be funds available, and they're trying to wrap their minds around how much the expense that's going to be present from these prescription costs from all 99 counties. So I'm hopeful that we'll see some reprieve from that. And then on the out-of-county housing, we're not necessarily housing more out of county, but the costs have gone up. So we look at that every year when we do our budget presentation. We talk about the cost to add beds and the cost to house out of county. So we'll continue to monitor that. But it went from about $50 a day was kind of the standard a few years ago to now we're paying $55, $60, $65 in some places. And depending on the inmate classification, even more. So that's where those costs are kind of rising on us. So we're constantly looking at that and taking that into consideration, and with that along with the expense to build and to maintain here. So that's where our costs are coming from.
Anybody else have any comments? About 7 seconds left here.
Sarah.
Oh, you didn't have anybody?
I have received no public comment in the auditor's office.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Sarah?
Tom Roker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Just gone through that. I'll just make a motion to approve the amending the fiscal 25 appropriations.
Second.
Sarah?
Tom Roker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Moving on, we have a resolution 2025 amending fiscal year 25. Oh, wait a minute. We just approved that. Didn't cross that off. There we go. We gotta sign this. I had that in hand. Now we have account payable claims in the amount of $1,095,401.82.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Roker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Now we have the abatement of property taxes. Sarah, this is a request to release any and all property taxes associated with the following properties. Parcel 1132, 383-07, location 1307, Jefferson Street, Burlington, Iowa.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Roker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Now we have an appointment to the Southeast Iowa Regional Housing Authority Board. They sent this to Mr. Broker. The Southeast Iowa Regional Housing Authority currently has one vacancy on the Board of Commissioners. Mr. Kevin Glendenning, Des Moines County Sheriff, has expressed an interest in serving on the Housing Authority Board. Southeast Iowa Regional Housing Authority Administration, Section 8, Housing Choice Voucher, Tenant-Based Rental Assistance Program through the 4-county region, Des Moines County, Henry County, Lee County, and Louisa County, with the expectations of 3 cities within those counties, Burlington, Fort Madison, and Keokuk. On behalf of the Southeast Iowa Regional Housing Authority, I hereby respectfully request the appointment of Mr. Glendenning to serve as the Des Moines County representative. For confirmation, Mr. Glendenning can be reached at 512 North Main Street, Burlington, Iowa, at the Sheriff's Office.
Motion to approve the appointment. Thank Sheriff Glendenning.
Sarah?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Thanks, Kevin, it's hard to get volunteers.
Yeah, no problem. Ms. Frazee reached out and
Yeah.
glad to serve.
Okay, now we have personnel action. We have a couple of them for conservation, we'll do them too at the same time. One of them is Grant Swanson, new hire. And his date of ending will be before 8/31/25 at $16 an hour, effective May the 19th, 2025. The second one is also Colder Kendall, or Kendall Colder. Okay. And conservation, he's also a new hire. And his rate will be $15 an hour, and effective date May the 12th, and ending before 8/31/25.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Sarah?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Now we have two for the sheriff's office. We'll do these two together too. The first one is Brett Albrecht. It's 77.77 hours, 24 months increase. Previous rate was $62,522.42. The new rate is $65,995.90. And the next one is Clay Foster, the deputy, for 74.77 hours, and also a 24-month increase. Previous rate was $62,522.42. The new rate is $65,995.90.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Now we got one for the county attorney's office. This is for Matthew Erickson, which is sitting there. Hi, Matthew, thank you. So his full-time intern, 10-week program, $22.50 per hour, effective on 5/19/2025.
Motion to approve. Welcome aboard, man.
Sarah?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yep.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Okay, now we have any other, for the minutes for May the 13th, 2025.
Motion to approve minutes.
Second.
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
The minutes will be in the auditor's office that you're reviewing for your own discretion. Do we have any other business?
I have none.
I have none. Shane, do you have any other business?
No, sir.
Okay.
Jim, I
Future
have a
agenda items.
question,
Excuse me?
if I can interrupt. Did you get any response from the city of Burlington from that letter you sent last week?
I never heard a soul from myself. We didn't get it. I didn't.
I haven't seen anything.
Thank you.
Okay. Future agenda items. I have none. Committee reports.
I have none. No, I have none.
Okay. Okay, time for, public input. We'll give you 2 minutes for the public. They can, call 319-753-8203 extension 4 or email board@dmcounty.com and we'll give you 2 minutes to do that. Meanwhile, anybody in the audience have anything to say? Yes.
Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Joe Myers. I'm the President and CEO of Transitions, TMC. We're curious to know what the plans are for the old county health building.
That has been debated several times, and I'm not sure where we're at on that. We're waiting on a survey to come back, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, I can give an update of where we're at. I know the board's had discussions.
Yeah.
I think the last, I'm gonna call it consensus, it's not like it's been to a vote or anything like that, but we did hold a work session about it, was to, keep the side of it that is parking along the alley. So we're waiting for a survey to be completed to split that off. And then to, I think the board was at least leaning towards picking sealed bids and selling off the public health building after that. I don't think that's set in stone, but that was the last discussion. So and I actually thought we would have that survey. Once we have the survey, I will get it over to Trent for review. Or at least if she wants, but I think she'll want me to send it to Trent.
Yes, please.
And he'll review it, and then I think Trent will kind of walk you through the real estate side of it, as you decide what your permanent plan is moving forward.
We're still waiting, like I say, that survey, so.
Should be right around the corner. I will call
Yeah.
about that this week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have anything to say? Okay. We got another minute, kind of quiet. Lori?
I asked my question.
No, I'm gonna ask you first. How's the cushion?
It's wonderful, thank you. I'm happy.
Tracy, you gotta thank her for the cushion. because
I already have.
You have. Them two guys that are sitting up front on the end, they don't have a cushion.
Budget
Thank you
cuts.
for your sacrifice.
They're young, they can handle it.
Yeah.
Chris's butt was probably bonier than mine does.
Look at him shaking that.
Sarah, have you got anybody call or anything?
I have not.
Okay. That concludes the meeting. We're gonna have a work session this evening. It's gonna be at 5:30 in the courthouse, up on the 3rd floor in the courtroom. And it's an informational meeting where we want people to give us information. There'll be no question and answer on my part. So, and it will be live streamed on the website. So if you can't, make it, you can watch it on live stream on the website. So, and thanks to Colin, we got that arranged. So, with an eye, we're out of here.
Bye.
Aye.
So you're gonna have a work session this morning?
What's that?
You're gonna have a work session this morning with?
That's Veterans Administration.
Yeah.
Affairs. I'm here just to kind of see what's next and
And I don't know if you, in the conversation, Jim, but we've talked about it since, when Patty's gone, Brooke will be out there alone,
Yeah,
and I'm not particularly comfortable
not at all.
in having her, alone in that building, and I suspect the board, and I know that I've talked to the auditor about it, and, Rodney thought he might have a place here in the courthouse, or we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, talked with juvenile, they have some open offices down there, and there was a general conversation with them, they have, they're kinda open to it. They just kinda have some questions, the guy that's kind of in charge of their district or whatever, he's gonna be here in June, like June 8th or something. He kinda wants to meet up with me and just have some questions on, you know, how else we do it, so, you know, or if it's an option, or if it's how it would work out, so.
The sooner we would know, the better.
Yeah, yep. So other than that, yeah, I don't know what other options there would be. You know, we're kinda limited on space here, so there's some small library, you know, space that's full of books, we're kinda working on that end, so I'm not really sure where that's gonna pan out yet, but.
Talking to the court system.
Yeah, still talking to the court system on that, so.
Might as well talk to that wall.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, it's a lot of space out there for one person, like say, safety wise. I mean, had some instances, you know, people walking in out there, and it's just, I don't know, it'd be nice to have more than just one person there.
Would you be able to maybe walk through a couple of those spaces with Brooke?
Yeah.
And see if it was sufficient room, or
Sure.
work, not work, so you would have an idea when you talk to this guy in a couple of weeks maybe?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, as long as you're here, you might as well take a look at the law library.
Yeah, we'll kind of, after the meeting, we'll walk around, take a look, and see what we can do. I think ideally, the best spot would be there in the juvenile office, because there's a separate door. We would just have to maybe build a wall to separate the one office away, but there's like a hallway there, there's an office door. I mean, you still, you know, have a closed office, separate from the hallway to it, but yet it'd be also right there in the basement, accessible right through the handicap, you know, doorway there, so ideally that would be probably the best spot. You know, if she was to move here to the courthouse. A law library would be either third floor or fourth floor, and you just kind of run into some difficult situations with those, kind of where they're placed at, so ideally that would be the best if we were to move her here, I think would be in that juvenile office, separate from the rest of the offices. But we'll take a look out there and see what you guys.
But your clients, it'd be a good place down there for that, to have access to that handicap door.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, handicap accessibility is
Yeah.
gonna be important. I have several with walkers, wheelchairs, that type of thing, so, yeah.
Patty, where you work from July through November? Are you working home or?
At my house.
Okay.
And the reason why is, Tammy and I are working from home because we have to be assured, we have to assure HHS and the ASO that we're not providing service management.
Oh, to make damn sure you aren't providing services to anybody. Okay. Okay. I'm not laughing at you.
I know. You make sense of it. I know.
Where's the patient advocates gonna be working from? Are they working from home?
Well, they go to all different counties, so they don't ever work in the office anyways. So they just are working wherever they're at that day.
Ted is in the office.
Is he?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I wasn't aware of that.
We'll need
in our building most every day, I would say, I mean.
His files are in our building.
Okay.
Is
But
Optimace,
April's never,
So he's gonna have to vacate that by June the 30th too, then.
That's,
If that's when your office is closing, so that should,
well, yeah, the, ASO, or the region will quit funding him on June 30th.
correct.
And the ASO is supposed to pick it up, the county's gonna pick it up, all the costs, and the ASO is supposedly, I've heard from the members of the legislature and whatnot, that this was.
I'm not laughing at you.
No, I know, you're the only one. So need to give him a call.
is there enough room down there for 2 of them in juvenile?
I don't know, I would have to look.
Okay.
I think we also gotta think about the lease agreements that we have with, the providers out there. I don't
Is
know.
Optimace still in that? I was just gonna ask, is
Yeah,
Optimace still in?
Optimace still on
Yeah.
the west side of the CPC office building, and then, Hope Haven still is, has lease agreements with the county for the crisis center building and the care facility building. So I don't know what the,
But that actual Cottonwood facility, without the Optimate part,
yeah, so
whatever we call
Optimate
that.
is region funded and so is the crisis center.
yeah.
So those two would be important to figure out if those programs are gonna be funded or not funded, otherwise, or who we're gonna, you know, who we need to talk to, start working on those agreements to get those in place July 1 as well.
It's my understanding that the ASO is gonna take over existing providers. Is that your understanding?
Yes, but there's certain services that I don't think will continue to be funded,
Okay.
but I don't know the definite services. If the peer support will still continue, I don't know that.
Because that's what Optimate provides there.
Correct. But they have to honor, they are to honor the contracts for 6 months out, is that correct?
They thoroughly confused me at the last meeting. They wanted they had to have a budget amendment for a negative $500,000, which you don't need a budget amendment if you're gonna spend less money. But you do if you're gonna have to talk to the state. Your budget better match whatever you've spent. So, I don't know.
Tammy also mentioned to me that their Verizon phones and iPads for the advocates are on their Verizon account.
They will be shut off
So
June 30th.
we need to get those switched over to.
She had asked if you want those numbers, or if you had a different plan, or.
I don't really have a plan. It'd probably be best if they kept their same numbers if possible, so that way they can continue their work with the same number. So we'll have to see about switching all of that over.
Cause we're doing it prior to, yeah, it'll be June 30th when they're shut off.
Okay.
So we also have their vehicles as well.
And their
They
vehicle.
got transferred over to our department.
Has that already been done though?
Yeah, well, like on the fixed assets, it's got transferred from the Fund 10 to our department, but we're still providing those to
Oh, I see what
advocates
you're
come July 1. You know, who's gonna pay, you know, pays for the upkeep, the fuel, the insurance, all that stuff on those vehicles. So I believe April's is down in Fort Madison. I don't know how much she uses it, but whether we need to bring that up here and have that at Cottonwood, or, yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work out, but that's something we gotta try and figure out as well.
We also have the phone system, that will have to cease. And, Ted still has a phone in that office. But the I pay for 4 phones, and the receptionist, Ken's, and mine will have to be shut off. And I'm not real sure how you wanna do that. If you wanna leave Ted's going, or
Are you talking landlines or cell phones?
landlines.
I think Ken's is already shut off, isn't it?
I hear it ringing occasionally.
Oh,
It
okay.
rings. And the thing is, I have to make sure I have to, have everything wiped off. I can't have a greeting on the phone, I can't have voicemail on the phone. I have a whole checklist of what I have to do before I vacate.
Well, if they end up moving
So are
down
you-
here, they'd have a different,
No, they can do
it'd be different anyways, right?
the, no, they can do the same.
I guess you could transfer it over, yeah.
I mean, the way our phones and stuff are set
That's
up,
true. You
she
can
could
trade.
just take the phone, come down here, we can
Plug
plug
it
it
in.
in, it's good to go, so.
So literally, my same number comes with me wherever I go.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
As long as you have that phone in your hand, wherever you plug it in.
okay.
But yeah, for the Ken's receptionist, that's fine, we can shut those off. How about you are keeping your landline, is that what you're saying?
No.
That is going by light too.
That's
Okay.
one on my bike too.
Okay, yeah, we can just cancel.
Prior to June 30th.
And at the, yeah,
Ted's will have to be ended or moved by June 30th.
so who's paying for that account moving forward?
Well, the county would pay for Ted's account, then we would be reimbursed by the ASO.
Okay.
But, it doesn't sound, what we're talking about is pulling out of that building.
Yeah.
So if Ted's there, we would need to find a place for him.
Ted's same story as hers, like, but in terms of equipment and everything, just wherever we put him, just
Okay.
plug it in, we're good.
Then you'll reach out to Ted, Sarah.
Yes. What about vehicles though, Tom? Will that be the same?
With whatever they do now, because we bill for those vehicles, we bill the region for them now.
So we'll just build
Mahasi, so that would, however we bill Mahasi, that's how we would include them on the, when we bill the ASO for the cost of
Okay.
the advocates.
So currently, the advocates, pay for their fuel, and then we reimburse, the region reimburse them personally for the fuel receipts. They do not have credit cards or anything.
Okay, through the as a fiscal agent,
Yeah.
we write checks to them for what they spend on gas, okay?
Yes. And then, the vehicles get billed to the county if they have maintenance on them, so.
Thank you.
I guess going forward, like on the vehicle wise, does the county still provide them, or is that
Well,
something they
with-
could use their own
they're
vehicle
part of
and
the-
fuel and then get reimbursed?
We
for
provide
mileage?
all that now. We pay, the vehicle, we take care of that, the gas, we take care of that, and that's all built in to what we bill Mahasi for. And Mahasi reimburses us. The ASO is supposed to reimburse us the same way. So whatever we're paying for now, we will continue to pay for those advocates, only it will be the, what's the name of the ASO?
Iowa Care Primary,
Iowa Care will reimburse the county.
Iowa Primary.
Iowa Primary, yeah.
Yeah. Cause April is in a different district. So Ted is in our district, and then April is in a different district.
We're, talked to Cheryl about that, and Cheryl talked to some of the auditors who were concerned about that every county is supposed to provide one of those, but rather than that, it doesn't matter, we've been told. Moines County will just do that, and we will have memorandums of understanding with each of those counties, that we will provide those, and those counties don't have to reimburse us. They have a memorandum of understanding to show the state that they're providing that, and they're providing it through Des Moines County, and the ASO reimburses Des Moines County, is the way I understand it works. Does that sound familiar?
And Lisa's working on those, correct?
I hope so. We'd asked her some time back,
Okay.
so.
I had someone ask me yesterday, so
You,
that's
you,
why.
you might not hurt to reach out to
Okay.
Lisa again and see if she's come up with that memorandum of understanding. I know Cheryl asked her and sent her some information to
Yeah.
use to build those with.
Okay, because I had someone ask me again yesterday, and I told them that we'd be in touch with them with a new one once we got it from Lisa, so. I
That
will
might
ask
not
her
hurt
about
to.
that.
Yeah.
So the lease agreements for the building, are we gonna proceed forward of looking at those, make any kind of changes,
Yeah,
do
and-
whatever, and get those prepared before June?
Might be a good idea, and I don't know how much they're changed. I know there's some problems with some of them. What do you call the dual diagnosis one you said, River?
Crisis Center, or River Cross.
River Cross.
River Cross.
But,
I mean, when I'm looking at those, do you want it wrote up as like month to month, 6 month, or it's currently a 12-month period?
I wouldn't leave them at a 12-month period. But, do you have contacts you speak to for each of those?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, send those to me and I'll call
Okay.
for the crisis center and River Cross and Optimate. Do they take care of the maintenance on that, or?
They do some stuff, we do some stuff.
Okay, well, if you've got a contact, send that to me too, and I'll call all
Okay.
three of them.
Okay. I'm not 100% sure who it is with Hope Haven, because with their restructuring and moving people around, I'm not sure who that exact point of contact is, but I'll find it and get it to
Cheryl
you.
Plank does quite a bit, I don't know what she,
She used to be, but.
Call out there and ask for Bruce Hartman, he's the maintenance guy, he'll tell you who to go to.
I'll get that information and get it to you.
Thank you. And I'll see if I can find out whether those services are still being supported or not.
Yeah, they might hear from HHS or ASO.
Yeah, well, you would think if they're gonna tell them they're gonna go out of business at the end of June, they would have heard.
I mean, we don't even have our final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but they,
So calling on my, equipment, I have to make sure that my hard drive and everything is destroyed. How do we go about doing that? Make an appointment with you, or?
Yeah, just give me the hard drive and I can destroy it.
The copiers are the same way, because we have scanner copiers, and that has to be done as well.
So I assume they're just not gonna be used anymore, we're just getting rid of them? Yeah,
Correct.
we can pull them, destroy them, that's fine.
how do you destroy hard drives?
Well, you can ask Rodney, he helped us down there, they made a little makeshift, I don't know what do you wanna call it?
Oh, log splitter,
Yeah, a
hard
log
drive
splitter.
smasher.
We just split them up.
I've seen it done with an AR-15.
Yeah.
so like, we could make it
That
one
would
of
be
those,
much funner.
smash rooms, and we could go take our anger out in there, is what
We
you're
have them
saying?
all, if you wanna go old fashioned.
But it works pretty well, and destroys them pretty good, so. And then we just, we recycle those with Nalotech, that company that we use, so.
Take them down, throw them in the river, that's cheaper.
Not doing that.
Now, I know currently Patty and I share the internet bill out there. So if she's vacating come June 30th, if I still happen to be there until we figure out where I land, how does that bill work? Because obviously Ted uses the internet there too. I don't know how we're splitting or what are we doing?
So,
Well, we need to know where Ted's gonna be.
Right.
So Ted, I'm assuming right now he's not gonna be there
Okay,
July 1st.
okay.
So is if she moves to the courthouse, how would that internet work?
She would just, well, they're currently sharing off our line, so
Yeah.
everything's shared off our one main line. So what they're paying for is the renting of the fiber line that we have that runs out there. So, I mean, it provides internet access to them, so yeah. But yeah, they would just connect into our line here, and then if you would like them to continue paying off that line, being as a separate account, that's entirely up to the board.
Okay, what do we do with the,
I'll
say
just-
nobody's out there, and
I'll
that
just
fiber
cancel.
line's still going out there, you just,
I'd kill that line, and really the only thing that we're paying for is it's like a maintenance agreement, saying that if there's a break or something with this line, that that Danville Telco will, administer and fix the line, so that's what we pay the monthly charge for.
Do I need to call Lisco or you'll do that?
I can do that. I
Okay.
mean, it's through, we moved it off of that to the Danville, I'm pretty certain.
Our bill is through
I'm
Lisco.
Lisco.
Is it still listed?
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it is.
pay $500, $425 a month.
Yeah.
She pays 75, so,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I can get hold of them, cancel
Okay.
that line.
okay.
to be determined.
Okay. I mean, that was kind of my main question, because that's what we share, and so.
Yeah, no, I understand, okay, yeah, that's, we will.
And since Rodney took over the utilities, I don't have to divide any of that, so that'll be okay.
So, and that sheet I handed you guys, that's
Yep.
got a breakdown of the cost of the facilities, at least right now, kind of percentages of who pays for what portions and how much. So there's still a couple months left, but that's kind of an overall of the utilities and who pays what percentage and how much. Halfway makes sense in my mind, so if you have any questions, let me know. It's kind of the same formulas and everything I kind of had last year and gave to you guys, but it's got
Thank you.
the electric, the gas, and then just some of the other miscellaneous, on the left there where it says, formula, like Permar, water, lagoons, just the regular maintenance stuff and the pest. So then it gives kind of a general expense per entity for those specific ones. Shows the annual revenue, so kind of what we're contracted with the CO region for their space. That's what that 5220 is. Optima, what their lease agreement is. And the county's paying for the Veteran Affairs County's portion. So the grand total, if you figure out the electric, the gas, and the bottom items, that's kind of what that 151682 is for the seal area, 6440 for the Optima. Kind of runs across and then gives you a grand total over there on the right-hand side. So, kind of shows the revenue and then the main expenses for each one, total on the bottom, and then kind of what the difference is, how much we've got left, so.
And the rental rates were designed to accrue for future maintenance, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that, the lease agreements was set by the region square, that formula that
Yeah.
they came up with, $10 a square
Yeah.
foot, so that's kind
Actually,
of what those were set at.
We were collecting, so yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So Shane, I'll leave one of these papers for you in your box, so you can check that out.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything else, ladies?
I don't think so. You're gonna call Ted,
Yep, I'll
and
go.
Rodney's gonna give me some phone numbers, and I will check on with Hope Haven, Optima, on those services.
If the space here in the courthouse works out, what is the timeline looking like for move and that kind of stuff? I'm just trying to figure out how I allow veterans to know the move will be coming and where to find me and that kind of stuff.
If you notify them, they get 2 weeks' notice, said, starting July 1st or something like that. When did you say when that guy said he was gonna be here, other than
Like
just
June 6th or June 8th, I don't remember.
Okay,
It's
okay.
that first week in June, I
I'm gonna
believe.
need a little bit of time to run some network and some
That's what I
lines and
figured.
stuff.
Must be June 6th, it's
June 6th,
It's a
so,
Friday.
and if you have to put a wall in, what kind of time frame are you looking for that?
I don't know, we're kinda gonna be down to 2 of us for some of June, so
Gonna be a bit.
it's gonna be pretty thin. Out of 4 of us, we're only gonna have 2 available probably in June for certain parts, so.
Do you,
I don't know.
Is this guy, what you wanna come down and look at?
He just got questions. I'm assuming maybe he just doesn't know the space, visualizing, just seeing what space we were talking about.
He's with the state.
Yeah.
Can he talk to
Seeley's
the
his
people
last
down there?
name.
Who's in charge down there?
Kim.
Can Kim talk to him?
Kim talked to him, yeah.
When she talked to him again, and to explain to Kim that we're kinda under the gun here to try to get this done because they're gonna,
I can get
we
his
don't
num-
want Brooke out there alone, tell her.
I can get his number and call him today.
That'd be great, if we could get any sort of an answer before, and, make it a lot easier to make plans that we didn't have to have done in the 3 weeks after June 6th.
I mean, it wouldn't take long if we could just get on it and do it, but
Yeah.
we've got a lot of other stuff going on and
Okay.
gonna be shorthanded, so I don't know, I couldn't.
Jim,
Maybe
you
he'll be
help
okay
out
with
with
you sending pictures or
Okay.
something.
I said, can you help Rodney out with that?
Yeah, if you loan me your chainsaw, it'll work.
It hasn't been used.
I'll bring it down.
Full of gas still.
Shane still hasn't showed up to clock in yet, so I'm waiting on that.
Kim doesn't have any problem with it, does she?
No.
Okay.
She seems to think it'll be fine if we just kind of build a wall there.
Okay, yeah, if she'd talk it out with that guy and sort of settle it so we can get a go-ahead before the,
Okay. We'll go take a look at that space and then I'll talk with her and get a phone number, talk to him, and then get you those contacts.
that'll be wonderful.
Is there any additional things that you can think of for me to close out and sign on?
I think so, I don't know.
I mean, I have all the files, all the case management stuff is done, and Ken's office is clean, so I just basically have mine to finish up on.
Now I
And
see why Ken retired when he did.
yeah, he pops in every once in a while, just so happy.
I can hear you.
That makes you feel good.
Yeah, he's on his motorcycle and he comes running through the
Yeah.
parking lot, but yeah. Okay. I guess stay in contact until then, and if I have updates or you have updates.
Okay.
I'm glad
If
you're
you
on
can-
that board.
You call, you have my cell phone number. You can call me anytime and I'll call anybody you want.
Okay, thank you.
Not, I'll get an answer, but I'll call. Okay. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
That was the grandkids, Patty.
I'm about to have another one.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, so we have 3.